3, 2, 1. Yes, you got it. Hello, everybody. It's me, Stephen Brody Stevens, doing comedy here at the All Things Comedy Podcast Festival. We have a live panel today here in Phoenix, Arizona, where I am back, where I began my college education here in Arizona. And when I get asked to come back to Arizona, that's what I do. I come back to Arizona because it's healing. The sunshine, the mountains, the flat roads, the restaurants they have here. Phoenix is known for restaurants right now. I don't want to strain my voice. I feel like I'm straining a little bit, but I'm going to power through, and that's what we'll do. Because it's a unique festival. You have live cameras, you have promotion, you have board games outside. We have people walking in, checking it out, and we have an audience. I don't know if they can hear me. I don't know. I can't tell. Can you hear me? Can the guy in the beanbag hear me? Okay, you can hear me. We have two people sitting in the front row. We have comedians on the couch catching up. I'm watching two people over there talking, communicating, embracing each other. That is the setting of a live podcast presentation here in Arizona. You're listening to Stephen Brody Stevens. We have a man here he was at the other show. We have another guy here who's catching some rest. It might be hot outside. He's got a hat on. He's here for shelter. We provide shelter also. If that's what you want, that's what we give you. I drove in from Arizona to Arizona yesterday, and I'm here right now. I have a podcast on the network here at All Things Comedy. I've not promoted it properly, but that's my life story. I've not promoted it properly. That could be the title of my next blog. I've not promoted this properly. Because I'm under the I just tried to do a good job where I'm at. But I'm not going to endanger myself. Because I want to project. Because I'm not hearing properly. It's just different. But I'm going to fight through it. Because I have to be professional. I have to say yes. And we have producers out there. Emma, who's in the field today. Are you looking at the monitor? Can you hear? Are you looking? Are you listening? And what's the deal so far? Two. Here's the deal. I want to do something. Let's see. We have a guest here. I want to see what it's like to be in the audience. I can't tell right now. So I'm a little in my head right now because I don't know what I'm hearing. So I'm thrown off a little bit. But because I live life by the seat of my pants, 36, 32 Levi's. Those are my fat jeans. I'd like to get down to 34, 30. Lose inches in the waist, lose inches in my inseams. I have a fan here who was here last year. He's very excited. I watch a lot of concert video. And you always see like Foo Fighters or Green Day. They like to bring a member from the audience up on stage and let them play with the band. I think that's pretty cool. I went to a Green Day Blink 182 concert, and they brought a kid up on stage. Green Day did. And Foo Fighters did that recently. Today, at this podcast, I am going to provide somebody the opportunity to get up here and do a mic check for me. What do you think about that? Victor, he was here last year. He's back again. He brings positive energy. Now, I am pharmaceutical free. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of people talk about how they are sober October. They're growing mustaches for November. I decided 3 months ago to become an advocate for myself, because people who are getting into trouble, they always say, oh, they're on some kind of brain medication and there's crazy stuff happening. I didn't want to be around crazy stuff happening. I wanted to bring positivity into my life. And I felt that I didn't want to deal with the side effects of having to go to the bathroom 7, 8, 9 times a night. It was either doing that, getting up, or doing it, peeing into a jug. I didn't want a life of peeing into a jug, because that's where I was headed. So a lot of people, they get off the medications, and you know what? I do feel good. I do feel clean, balanced, even, mellow. Do I have energy? I don't know. I'm drinking a Red Bull. Do I feel like I have a buffer and motivation coursing through my veins? No, I don't. Is my hearing off? Because here's the thing. You hear Snoop Dogg, Cypress Hill, Joe Rogan back in the day, when they start smoking pot, they talk about how marijuana could take you to another level, the magical pot. Okay? And you've heard that about other drugs too, but we'll just say pot for the sake of pot. I'm telling you that antidepressants, SSRIs, they have that too. So you could say pot is natural, but they've added chemicals to it, but it is natural. I feel like these SSRIs, there's something in there too that taps into that. So what I'm getting at is I'm not on anything right now. And it's hard. It's affecting my hearing. It's affecting my senses. You saw me on the other podcast earlier today. I was lost. I was like a puppy dog, sad, and a deer in the headlights on the 101 loop here in Arizona. I want to avoid those moments. You're listening to a live podcast here in Arizona right now. I'm Stephen Brody Stevens. I was born in Kaiser Permanente Hospital. Born at Kaiser, I will die at Kaiser, because the insurance is solid. There's another comedian signaling to another comedian, I'm leaving to get food. That's where it is. That's where this podcast has devolved to, where comedians are exchanging hand signals over food. But I'll tell you what, I do feel good. But I don't have that energy. But can I get that energy? Can I get that motivation? I think I can. I am sensitive. But I'll tell you what, I have jokes. I have breathing exercises that I do. You know how important breathing is? That's what people don't tell you what to do, is breathing. You see these baseball players tonight at the World Series? They're all breathing. There's a Red Sox fan. I'm trying to get into breathing. I'm trying to get into exercising. Instead of taking the medication, take a pill. No, take a hike. Take a break. No, take a breath. Breathe. I know what I'm doing. I'm professional. I have 2 debit cards. I hang out at the DMV. You're depressed? Go to the DMV. Depressed motor vehicles. It will pick up your spirits. Comedy's hard, but podcast is harder. What do they say about like comedies and drama? Comedy's easy. Dying's easy. Comedy's hard. Comedy's easy. Podcasting is hard. You think it's easy? It wasn't easy for Eazy-E. He had issues. You think it's easy for the Easy button at Staples? They don't run that ad campaign anymore. I have a show tonight with the Sklar brothers. They watch me intently. It just takes for one of them not to like me. And I'm out from the next Jewish-themed holiday bar mitzvah show. I am in a good mood. Don't worry. But I'm just being reflective of the world out there. You know, you walked in here. It is Festival of Sports. But I'll tell you what. They're trying to scare us with those bombs. You got it. You walked into a political show. You came in here for a break from reality. Now you walked into the wood chipper. I don't fall for the media. Sorry, because I was born in the Valley. I went to Reseda High School, home of the Karate Kid and Boogie Nights. There's a reason why the Karate Kid on YouTube this past year was the #1 most streamed series, because it represents the Valley in the 80s when the Lakers were winning, the Dodgers were winning, and the Olympics were happening in L.A. I was there. The 80s in L.A. were the place to be. Cocaine, porn, Lakers, clean beaches. Everybody was getting along. I love L.A. When was that song written? In the 90s? In the 70s? That song was written in the 80s. They don't show Venice Beach anymore because it's dangerous. Maybe they show Malibu from a distance. That's what I'm into. Born in the Valley. And I'm not falling for it. I don't do the mob mentality. Where are the Caravan kids? I said it last night, and I'll say it again. The Caravan. By the way, I did this joke last night. Base camp for the Caravan kids from Mexico, Filberto's on Van Buren on Friday. That's where they're going to hang out. That got a laugh. Am I all over the place? Yes. Podcasting is difficult. I'm not having headphones. There's an audience trying to focus. I had somebody chauffeur me out here. Normally I drive myself. I gave a young comedian the opportunity to give me a lift out to the desert. Turns out I got scammed out of $38 for gas. Is that what they do now? Hey, I'll drive you. What kind of car? A Prius. It cost nothing. You know, I'm a good guy. I take the guy to Del Taco. He's never been. That's a California cuisine. He's never been to Del Taco. I did that for him. Let me ask a question here. And he's here right now. And I've been hard on him. I've been hard on this guy. And I normally would call out. If you listen to this podcast, you know that I always call out. I play that. I don't think we're going to call out today. So we have him here in person. Somebody who appears via cell phone on this podcast is here in person today. That person drove me to this state, and we learned a lot. I learned a lot about him. He learned a lot about how this business works. And today, he's here right now. And there's been some issues. This has not been a smooth preparation. You could tell I've been flustered. Something is on my mind. This guy is not acting normal. What hell has he been put through? We want to know. Well, I'll tell you. I gave somebody an opportunity. A couple things that haven't happened. My room key wasn't ready when I checked into the hotel. The satellite, the HDMI cable, I couldn't figure it out. The courtyard smelled like vomit. This is not what the review said on Travelocity. I didn't check mark vomit on the filtered list. Then, I have a very popular segment on this show. We call it the baseball card game. What's at the core of the baseball card game? Baseball cards. You can't do the baseball card game without baseball cards. I say, I'll go to CVS like last year and get a fresh pack of baseball cards. I ask a friend, could you go to CVS and get a pack of baseball cards? Yeah, I'll go over there. They don't have baseball cards. Really? I'll let him tell that story later on in this podcast. I did a show last night. I did pretty well. I did okay. Again, I'm not on any kind of pharmaceutical. I'm natural. Do I smoke pot? Everybody is doing some kind of vapor. It's the law in California to do some kind of vapor and have a North Face jacket. That's the law. And if you don't do that, you don't do that. Am I going on the road with David Spade? Yes, I go on the road with David Spade. I know how to act and behave with David Spade at the mall, at the seafood restaurant, at the steakhouse, in the green room, in the car. You got to know how to behave, act, and know how to get baseball cards at CVS Pharmacy or wherever it was. The longest receipt in the business. CVS, but you can turn it into a headband if you want. You can turn it into a tourniquet, squeeze off some blood. You can use it as a Wonder Woman badge. There's a lot of stuff you could do. This guy's name, and I've been hard on him. This is a sports show. I get to hang out with a lot of professional athletes. When you're new to some place and you're a guest at a personal level with a friend in a particular situation, you just don't say anything. When I'm with Alex Rodriguez, who's dating J-Lo, I'm on his terms. When I'm around these baseball guys, when I'm around David Spade, it's all about David. We don't do small talk. When I played baseball at Arizona State, right down the street here, we have the most guys in the major leagues. The motto was, freshmen are to be seen, not heard. You start talking, I'm letting you in. I get to go on the field at Fenway Park, Dodger Stadium, Wrigley Field. I don't go, what a beautiful day. The grass looks great. They're bringing me down there because they don't want to talk about the grass. They don't care about the field looking great. There's a place at the Comedy Store in the back, we call it the Sacred Ground. The comedians hang out there. If you're involved in the comedy world, you hang out there. They don't let fans come back there and chit-chat about the grass looking great. Because we're all on the same page. We're all in the same world. It goes without saying. We get it. You're here. What's your level? Are you a headliner? Are you a feature? Do you do theaters? Do you do arenas? You have a podcast? Are you from LA? Were you in The Hangover? How do your headshots look? What kind of car are you driving in the lot? How are your clothes? Did you get a call back? All those things go into play in that Sacred Ground area. So when I invite you into my world and we're going to Del Taco and CVS to get baseball cards, you're in my area. You got to read the room. But nobody wants to say that to other comedians. Because when you're a feature act, you go on the road, you're supporting the headliner. You're there for the headliner. You drive. He'll do the GPS. But that's how you don't want to stress him out. I've been stressed on this trip. And if you can't tell by now, you're not in touch with what's happening. Because you're looking at somebody on stage doing a live podcast that has been put in situations, thoughts, conversations that aren't necessary. Now, I said it, I painted a picture for you. And I think it works well. I'm on my podcast. I call out to some friends. I call out my mom. I call out to people. And we're doing a live podcast. So he goes, hey, I call in on the show. Maybe I can come out to the festival and check it out. And I'm thinking, okay. But there's a lot of variables. We're on the road. We're in the daytime. This, that. I'm going to give him a shot because I'm that kind of guy. I've spoken about him enough today. He's here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a couple people come up here today and talk. And I think I've set the tone how to behave on the road with the guy who's opening for David Spade. This guy is from Florida, and I think I've taught him coping skills. Let's see how it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Eric Oligny. Let him hear it. So, Eric, go ahead and have a seat.
That was the nicest intro I've ever had, Brody. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it. So, mission accomplished. You're on the podcast.
The set looks great.
You're at the festival. You get your way. You get yourself into these situations. You're in here. You were at my Comedy Central filming. You work at Funny You Should Ask. You get in there. Now that you're in there, I'm trying to help you stay in here, thrive in here, maybe make a couple dollars in here. And it all starts with knowing how to be a good support system. So let me ask, how was the ride coming out here with me?
Honestly?
No, not honestly.
Oh, okay.
It was great. I
great.
said no. Now, reason why I said not honestly, I told this guy I said, I don't know if I could trust you because there's a chance you could go rogue. There's a chance he could go rogue. And I said, I don't know if I could trust you. So now he's on the podcast. And now I'm already in this position where I have to decide, are we going to go forward with this? Because if he says honestly, because I'm giving the guy a chance, has he earned the chance? Yes, he's earned the chance.
I enjoyed the Del Taco.
Okay, you've earned the chance. Please don't sabotage me. Please don't go rogue. Please don't exhibit those traits. You have a chance, opportunity here. How was the trip?
It was good. I enjoyed the Del Taco. I don't want to say anything else on it.
Why?
I don't want to sabotage you.
So here's the deal. If somebody comes and picks you up at where you live in the valley, and everything's fine, we get in the car, and I say, I'd like to go, can we go to Starbucks? Now, mind you, there's marijuana elements involved in the car, vapor pens. Just have that being a running theme. Factor that always into the equation. So I'm in a good mood. I'm happy. We're going to Arizona. I could drive. I could have rented a car. I probably could have bought a plane ticket. Let's make it loose, fun. Maybe I'll video something on the side of the road. So we're getting ready to go. I said, let's go to Starbucks right there in North Hollywood. And I say, I'll go. So I give him the address. We go there. And he goes, it's a drive. I go, let's go through the drive-through. And then Eric said, I never knew that Starbucks had drive-throughs.
I did not know that Starbucks had drive-thrus because I don't go to Starbucks.
Okay.
I don't drink
As
coffee.
a comedian, I'm a comedian. I'm on the ball. I'm in LA. I'm a comedian. I'm on the ball. You're a comedian. You want to be a comedian. Never mind that. Wouldn't you think you would just see a Starbucks drive-through somewhere?
I just drove 8,000 miles across the country and I didn't see one Starbucks with a drive-through.
Okay. And you live in Tampa? You lived there for a while?
Yeah.
So you lived in Tampa. You never saw a drive-through at Starbucks in Tampa.
Probably not there now.
Okay. And you lived in LA for how many years?
8.
8 years, and you didn't know that Starbucks had a drive-through.
When did Starbucks put a drive-through in?
I would probably say within 5 years ago they started doing that. 6 years ago? 7. So.
Thanks. Hey, Jay, thanks.
All right. Wouldn't that be a red flag to you a little bit? Just a little bit? So I brought that up. That's the kind of stuff like I think, and you want to be a comedian. I go, this is a comedian trip. I'm not headlining. It's some variables. So I have to kind of like watch what I'm doing. It's not like I'm headlining, Eric's coming out on the road, and there's some variables involved. But Eric wants to be involved in comedy. I'm just feeling like as a comedian, you're a truth teller up there. You have the microphone. You are the court gesture. So I would think like just by being aware of stuff, you would know that Starbucks had drive-throughs.
Did you enjoy my Spotify playlist?
Yeah, and that's a positive. This guy makes a great...
Thank you.
That guy makes a great Spotify playlist. So you did that. Now, as hard as I am on you because I say you want to be in this business.
I mean, I am in the business.
What, because you got a lanyard here?
No, because
You're at Funny You Should Ask?
I'm a feature act, and I was on the road, and
He did. He went out with Bill Dawes.
Yeah, and I also work for Funny You Should Ask with Byron, so I'm in it. I mean, there's the once gone. It's there.
All right. So see, now here's the deal. Right now, I'm the bad guy. The bad guy energy is in my court. See, I'm trying to help Eric. Now, they would say, because people think I'm funny. I have a lot of, I bet you I could probably work with a lot of people if I wanted to, have a lot of young kids or other comedians help me out.
You had a great set last night on their show, on Anwar show,
but it's a difficult dynamic for me because I don't know where you're in the equation. You are you're an entity. And I have to be careful about not being too hard on you.
You're not too hard on me. I told you I learn a lot. I don't take it home with me and go, "Oh my God, Brody said that to me last night. I'm so upset."
But you did. Okay, here's the other thing.
I get over it. I'll lash out on you, and then I'll get over it.
We're in the car. Lash out. There you go.
You have to lash out on Brody every once in a while.
Why?
Because sometimes it gets to the point where it's a tipping point to where you just keep going on about the same thing, and I understand what's being told to me, and I'm not a child, so I have to tell you I'm not a child.
But how do you know there's not Starbucks drive-thrus? How does that happen?
Okay, I didn't realize this was like such a thing, but
it is. But Eric, as a comedian, that's the first question on the test.
Is there a
Starbucks
drive-thru? Right. And immediately I failed.
And look.
Did if I was with David Spade, would he have gotten upset that I didn't know that Starbucks had a drive-thru?
How? I mean, you would think it's strange.
Okay.
And then the seat back. Eric has a nice little car. It's a Prius. I'd say it's a nice little car. I'm hearing, are those Cheetos? I'm hearing food, but that's okay. So Eric has this Prius, and the seat, when he's driving, he leans it all the way back. Like more, they do that in the urban communities. Some leaning back. He was leaning back even more than that. And I'm saying, Eric, you're leaning back, and then you're hunched over, reaching the wheel. It stresses me out. Your driving posture stresses me out. And then I started to say, like, that's what it is with an audience, too. I've done so many audience warm-ups for these TV shows. It is about sitting up, paying attention. When you sit up and you pay attention and you speak up and your shoulders are at, and boom, you're putting out good energy, it comes back to you. That's a lot of what I try and teach Eric about putting good energy out. And when you're hunched over, you're blocking, you're holding back.
I'm already in a Prius.
Oh. And you don't want, I'm just telling you in terms of like working. Now, am I a guy who's capitalized on opportunities? Maybe, maybe not. I've capitalized enough to get another opportunity. I'm like a scratcher guy. I get like the win, the $2, you get another chance. I haven't got the big one. But I get all those chances. If you look at my resume, it is diverse. And I'll tell you why I get it. Because I stay clean. I don't give them any reason to think negative of me.
So if like a talent booker saw me driving and saw my seat back, they would be like, no, we can't book him.
I'm saying I'm sitting in the car with you, and I saw it, and as a guy who it was a little, I'm trying to teach you to relax more. You get tense. You're very like, you force a handshake. And it's coming from a good place. That's the point. It's coming from a good place. I'm trying to get you more opportunities.
I appreciate that.
You know, I would say my car is dirty. I would say Eric's car is dirty.
Yeah, smoker.
But here's the deal. I have a defined act. I have a defined voice. You need to do everything you can, the little things. And part of that is not having soda all the time. Now, do I have a Red Bull up here? Yes. And it doesn't look good. Eric, I said, you know what, Eric? I'll let you stay. I'm a good guy. You help me out. He stayed in my hotel room. Spent the night. This morning he made the walk of shame to get to the convenience store, and he comes back, and I always harp on it with a big soda. I go, Eric, you don't want to have sugar is a killer.
But it's
Dean, well, go ahead.
Dr. Pepper is delicious.
I know that. Dean Del Rey got sugar out of his life, and it changed everything. It's known that sugar is a killer.
So if I quit sugar, I can get on Marin?
You know what? I'll tell you what. I bet you will open up something for you.
I'll quit tomorrow.
So you're taking a shot at Dean. Way to go. See, gave this guy an opportunity. He just took a shot at Dean Del Rey. What I'm getting at is, I'm saying Eric, because he is a nice guy, whatever. He's got whatever. But so I stay on you about, I notice the little things, is what I'm saying. So you can learn to
That's how you found
listen
me.
to them. You can listen to my advice, or you can listen to it and then also learn to neutralize me. That's what you have to learn, coping skills, and you're getting better at that. So,
and would you say that I'm a good listener and that I actually learn from the mistakes I make?
I think you do.
Okay.
Look, you have your shoes. I think I told you a few months ago, you got to get some better shoes. He's got great shoes. Shoes matter. And it's not, and
half
here's
off
the deal.
Jordans.
Just
$60.
the little things. That's all I'm saying. It's like being clean, this and that, sitting up straight. But bottom line is, Eric gave me a lift out here, and good job on it. Why don't you hang out on the show, Eric?
Thanks, guys. And by the way, that trip was it was fun. Went to Del Taco. Thought that was a lot of fun. Just hanging on the road with you and getting to talk to you about the music and all that stuff on the road was fun.
What music?
When we talked about the drumming of the songs and like the songs I was playing.
That was a 2-minute conversation.
It was a good conversation.
2-minute conversation and a 6-hour drive.
That was the best part of the drive.
But I'll tell you what, Eric is resilient, and I do see improvements, and it's nice to see him making some things happen in comedy. I'm going to bring up more people. I have a couple. What I'm going to do here is, there's a guy here. I'm thinking who I'm going to bring. You know what? Here's the deal. Last night I did a show, and Eric was there, and I lost my cool. I went into the red zone. But I held it together. And I'll tell you something. I saw a show last night, a local show here in Phoenix at Stand Up Live, and it's a produced show. They have PowerPoint. They have slides. They can make a GIF right there on cue. Because I worked at midnight on Comedy Central. I know that kind of pacing. I know that kind of those topics. And what I saw last night was that similar kind of vibe, which was nice to see. Nice to see. It was a nice demeanor. And I know these guys, and one of them is talking sports. We're going to bring one up, and then we'll bring up another. I'm just going to keep this thing moving because I'm a community kind of guy. This guy, we went to a baseball game last year. I've been on a show, a popular show that they do here locally, and now he is on the local sports news. Every weekend, he does a local sports segment at the games here in Phoenix. So that's a new thing. We're going to find out how he got that. He's going to tell us about the show. He's here. Maybe he can relate to Eric and what he's going through. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mike Turner. Here he is. Phoenix is a growing town. I want to let you know, like, Phoenix has great restaurants. It has great comedy clubs. And what we saw last night was pretty cool. You would think that that stuff isn't happening. I don't know. It was good.
We got a lot of drive-through Starbucks.
There you go.
That's a callback, guys. It's industry stuff.
So, Mike, I saw you about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple years ago, was it last year we went to the baseball game?
Because you were headlining, and I understand how to cater to the headliner. I get it. I listen. And I know he likes baseball. I do my research. And I think the Dodgers were in town, too, and you're a Dodgers guy.
We went to the Dodger game, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and then you got us into the – we got into the – didn't your friend also work at Fridays?
So I've lived here long enough where I don't like paying for things.
Yep.
And so I worked at the Fridays in the Chase Field for a number of years. So you keep those relationships strong, you build the rapport, and you go back in there and they treat you like a king. And so I get in there for free usually.
And then – and you know what? I took a photo. I went to the stadium. Mike, we went in there. I might have gone on my own. I learned that from you.
Yep.
Then we also went to the baseball game. We got into the stadium with tickets that were like up high. Then he went on some kind of app, and we moved down to like the field level.
Yep.
This guy was making things happen.
Yep.
There was no stress.
Nope.
Picked me up. Hell, I had to get marijuana for something.
Do you want to drive Brody home?
I can drive. You just live in the valley, right?
Yeah, I live in the valley.
I get you to the valley.
But there's an example right there, Mike Turner. This guy, I allowed myself to be in his car. I allowed myself to be in his trust.
Sure.
And I didn't. Now it's a different relationship a little bit, but I still did a trust fall. He caught me.
Did I want Whataburger that day when you got in? No. But we went.
We went to Whataburger.
We went to Whataburger.
There you go.
And I knew that we weren't close to one, but I said, I got you.
And
I think it's on 10th and McDowell right there.
There you go.
It's a good Whataburger.
But he's got a smooth, he's relaxed, he's smooth. And what was the other thing? Right. And then here's the deal. Now you've got the gig. First of all, the gig you did last night was great at the Stand Up Live.
It's called This Week Sucks Tonight, and if you're in Phoenix, every Thursday at 11 at Crescent Ballroom, and we did it for the festival last night at Stand Up Live, which is one of the best venues in America.
What's the other? Don't you do the other show too?
And the other show is called Literally the Worst Show Ever. It's both of them have very negative names. We know that. But they're the best things going on in the city. And Literally the Worst Show Ever is a kind of like a bi-monthly, which you've headlined before.
Okay, so you do that.
It's like I would call it every 6
month?
to 8 weeks.
That's more preparation.
Because it's skit. So we do kind of a 3-act thing. I guess it would kind of be SNL-esque. I would compare it more to Mad TV's tone as far as our jokes, and then we bring up stand-up too. Myself and Anwar Newton and a couple friends.
Yeah, you guys are. Yeah, it was good. And then last night I saw that show you
This
guys
Week
were
Sucks
doing.
Tonight. Yep.
That was current. It was fun. You guys have a nice demeanor behind you.
Appreciate it.
It's not too one way or the other. It's like not. I mean, not.
We push the envelope, but I think we play with it really well.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Are you getting? Is that a kind of show that you want to take? Where do people want to take shows? Are they already doing them on YouTube?
Isn't it weird, right? Do I want to make a TV show? But TV's kind of fading, so I don't know. I know that right now we live stream it on YouTube, and I think we're moving to Facebook Live, and then also potentially on Periscope as well moving forward. So we're going to do live streaming it so you can watch it anywhere. But yeah, what is the end? I don't know. That's an industry question, right? Do we go to Netflix now? Do we go to? I don't know where we want to pitch it, but I know that people need to see it more.
I mean, that's the thing about YouTube. If you have a show that's popular and people watch it, you can make money on that, correct?
Sure.
I just don't know what's the algorithm, what's the number of views where you start making money, and then that's a TV show to set.
Usually we always get 2 views. I wanted to get a quick shout out to my mother, Mimi Moody Turner, and Aunt Maureen. We always get 2 views.
2 views, there you go.
They love me.
It's all about views. It's all about advertising. It's hard. It's crazy.
It's a show, though, I feel like, and I appreciate the positive feedback. It's a show I feel like more people would enjoy. How do we get it to more people is where we're at, and we're trying to spread it. So This Week Sucks Tonight, look it up, stalk us, come to the show.
Now, how did you turn your experience with me last year into now you have the gig? You have it weekly. You're with the local news.
Weekly on local news, yes. And I always me and you always have that. I always think that we get along with the sports stuff, and then we can also make humor about it. So I got. You know what I did? I pushed positive energy forward.
There you go. This guy
Positive
pushed
push.
positive energy and got a job in Phoenix, local news.
NBC
This
here.
is a big market.
Yeah.
This is a big market, a
fifth
big
biggest.
city, and that's the Brody bump. That's the example of hanging out with me and good things happen.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to get for you, Eric, to happen.
Well,
'Cause
you gave me a good idea, as you said you wanted to start working on advertising. You could put it in the Starbucks drive-thru, since all of y'all know where those are.
Y'all, where did the y'all come from?
Tampa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. What did we say earlier? It's
You call
country bumpkin.
Are
You're
you
a
look
country
more
bumpkin.
from, and if I don't want to get too specific here, but you look more like Brandon than Tampa. Are you from Brandon?
Oh wow, that's hurtful.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
You look like you're about 20 miles.
I'm from South Tampa.
South Tampa.
Hyde Park.
It's not your fault.
Yeah. No. I got a racist face. I know.
I mean, and Eric, it's not about because I rarely. I mean, sometimes I get on your comedy, but that's I don't focus on that. I focus on the little things that are going to help you once you get around certain people, like me, demanding.
You've definitely given me more patience.
Who are you, Axl Rose? But look now, but Mike channeled it.
Mm-hmm.
He would. Here's what I think. This is what I think. Eric talks about. Oh, he wants to go to New York. I say, you come to Arizona and hang out with these guys and watch what they do for a couple of weeks. What do you think about that?
Boom. Come on.
Maybe Michael could
I would
take
love
Eric
it. Phoenix
under
is
his
awesome.
his
Oh, yeah.
tutelage.
Yeah, we just don't say y'all, but we got the same level of racism as Southern Florida, so
Perfect.
we're good.
And so you got the gig, the sports gig.
Yep.
And this is a sports show. So what you're seeing right here is two guys who are into sports. We went to a baseball game. We put out sports energy. And he may have been joking, but maybe he wasn't. And he said, positive push. Next thing you know, he's on local news. I'm not. That's a cool thing.
It's big. I'm out there hovering around people that I don't know. Larry Fitzgerald might be there. Who knows? It's fun. And a lot of ASU guys. It's been big. I go to the Arizona Cardinals games. The opposing team is there, and
Wait, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
1 second. Ari Shaffir, Court McCown, and Ryan O'Neal, Steve, Simone. We've got 4 guys looking for trouble, looking for a hike. Ari is a great guy. Ari, will you come up for a few minutes? And you guys go just for a few minutes.
Brody,
Ari's a great guy. I don't know if he ever gets. I don't know if Ari gets a bad rap, but Ari's a really
once
good
in a while
guy.
I get a bad rap. Here, we were actually walking by. Me and O'Neal were going to take a steam. We took a hike today.
The Russian bathhouse,
Yeah, and we were
Turkish bathhouse.
we were feeling low on energy, specifically the positive kind.
What were you guys down about?
Just the state of the world.
I think the world's in a pretty good spot.
Well, Trump doesn't get the respect he deserves. And
I'm not going to fight you on that.
yeah. And overall, these homeless people are taking over.
I don't. Well, you know what? The numbers are increasing, but we have plenty of room.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Like Ari's been. I was in New York last week, and I saw Ari there, and a lot of people. I feel like if you're down or you're depressed, something's like you're ruminating, go to New York. The life, the energy of New York is just something that I needed, and I've been feeling good ever since that trip.
I got a red eye there tonight.
You
Really?
do?
Yeah.
What are the odds? That's a connection.
Boom.
No, I think he just because you said that, he was like, "I'm doing it."
No, I got to show at
Possible.
the stand on Monday.
So, You are in New York or no?
Yeah, we had a nice cigar as we walked through the East Village. It was wonderful.
And I saw you perform at the Comedy Cellar. You did great. You were. I mean, you do give off good energy. What is? Are you pretty healthy with your diet these days?
Yeah. When I shit, it comes out pretty bloody, and I don't know.
I don't
if
believe you.
that's-
I think that's a lie.
Who would like to back me up on that?
Does it really?
Oh yeah, dude. It's gushers.
From what?
Oh yeah.
Did you have, is it you have fissures in
I
there?
think it's both internal and external hemorrhoids. I got sort of a stereo of hemorrhoids. I lost the room on that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I sit there and read too long.
But I think that you've figured it out. You have a good way with the world. You seem to be like at peace with yourself.
Zach respects me.
Yeah, you know it's Zach Galifianakis. Didn't you do a movie with him?
I don't. It was so shitty. I talk about it.
He said that you did something with him, and that he said you did a good job.
He asked about you first thing. He was like, Ari came up to me real cool. I never know if celebrities remember you, but real cool. Like, how you been? I saw you on the call sheet. It was so cool. How's Brody doing? Right off the bat.
Why doesn't he call? He does call me, but
so
here's yeah. Well, not as much. But
it's a
here,
loaded question. Then.
these guys, they get their kids. That's the thing. Everyone he has kids.
He has kids?
Yeah.
I had a vasectomy.
You did?
Yeah.
So that means you can't have a kid.
No.
Why do you not want a kid?
They're gross. They ruin your happiness. They physiologically break you down at the molecular level. I know people would disagree with that, but that's science, so enjoy your fucking flat earth theories, idiots. Yeah, they seem like they're good for like 30 minutes or so, but then you can't get rid of them after you're done. Like when they start crying, I'd be like, ugh, this one's broken. I want to dump it. And then I think that's just frowned upon.
I'll tell you what. I can't disagree with what Ari said.
Thank you. Positive energy.
You got it. No, but you've done the sober Octobers before?
Yeah, I hate it. This is the second one. It's the last one I'm ever doing. I'm actually not gonna be friends with those guys anymore.
So if you were on, I don't know if you're on like pharmaceuticals or all, but I like cut myself off slowly. I advocate for myself.
Yeah.
But I've been off everything.
Lamictal.
Everything.
I
For like months now.
How you feeling?
Flat.
Damn. I just got on a drug that helped me a lot. It's called Molly, MDMA, and I find it really picks me up.
So you do take
Yeah, not this month though. But as soon as October 31st ticks down to the end, it's a drop, smoke, shot, gone.
How many comedians do you think take antidepressants? Do you think a number of them do?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
But so many. If you're a comedian, most have
50%.
vices. You either like drink,
Yeah.
smoke cigarettes, smoke pot.
Jesus. There's so many vices we all have.
People are into Jesus. That
No,
helps
not
with
really.
comedy?
No, not really. Simone is. Yeah, actually. And he's wearing a Brody shirt. He's positive, but he's super into the J.
Steve's got good energy. Steve Simone's wearing my T-shirt. Steve, you wanna come up here for a couple minutes and tell us about?
I'm gonna go schwitz though, bro.
Okay, Ari Shaffir, there he is. Then we have another guy. Eric, you could stay right there. Steve Simone wearing my shirt. I got to get this shirt back up on the market again.
It's the best shirt ever.
It is a great shirt.
I don't even know how to make money on them. How'd you go ahead.
I was going to ask you when you were going to open the baseball cards.
Oh, you like the baseball cards?
Love them.
Baseball card game.
Here's the deal. Baseball cards. I last year went to CVS to get baseball cards. This year, I didn't have cards. I go, Eric, could you go to CVS? He couldn't find them. We were going to start the show here with no baseball cards. When I walked out of the studio at about 4 o'clock, that's what was on my mind. We have no baseball cards. Eric said they're nowhere around. I took it on my own instincts to walk to CVS Pharmacy in the CVS store. And I looked down each aisle, in the areas, in the sections, and I found cards. Eric said there was no cards. In fact, he asked the guy at the counter. There were no cards. So I went and found the cards, Eric.
Can I hold on to them for a second?
So why do you think?
So this was the only box of cards in that giant CVS over there. This. And it was hidden in a toy section in the
That's
back.
where they would keep cards, in the toy section. Kids like cards. Cards are in the toy section. And it was a small toy section. You just got to go through the toy section. I found them right away. But I'm the bad guy.
No, I mean, it was my fault.
These are the little things. He quit on the cards. I had to go all the way back there to get the cards. I was under stress.
I did know that CVS has a drive-thru, though.
Is that the theme tonight? Steve Simone, great guy, travels the world, puts out positive energy. I need to have more of him in my life, and I don't always say that, but that's the great thing. I don't always do it. And that's the great thing about these festivals. They bring people together. They bring people together, and to have Steve around is a great thing. Steve, how are things going with you, and what do you think about everything that you've witnessed so far?
I love it. I love the fact that you did bring Oligny. I think that's awesome that you're passing it along, you know?
It is,
and you were
right?
talking about on my podcast about the benefits of coaching and how the older guys help the younger guys, and that's what you're doing with comedy. You did it in baseball, now you're doing it with comedy, and I'm glad to see it because Eric's a good guy.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks, Steve.
Yeah, when you take, it's like when you're I don't like to call myself a headliner, but if you go on the road with somebody, it's like you're teaching them.
Absolutely.
And if you notice something, you say something. But if I'm with Spade and Spade does something, I'm not going to say anything. I mean, I'll say if, but he doesn't do anything. If he does something, I mean, he's David Spade. So if he wants to, for example, maybe not stick around, like the show ends and just get out of there. Where I want to stick around and maybe meet a couple people, or something like that. I'm not gonna I'm gonna let him do it. I'm gonna let David be David. Whereas I can't always let Eric be Eric. I have to kind of
I wouldn't
but
let
I'm
me
helping
always be
you.
me either.
But I guarantee you, David knows that there's drive-thrus at Starbucks.
I'm going to tweet at him tonight and find out.
That's the thing. When you're hanging out with people who are doing, they just get it. That's what I'm trying. Part of this business, like getting jobs, it's relationships. It's, are they comfortable with you? Do you not bring up certain thoughts and visions into their brain? Do you know what I mean? You bring a certain energy. People like having Steve Simone around. That's why he's always working. He's always traveling. He's not doing something that is going to have you feel a certain way. He gets it. I'm trying to help Eric with that. I think Mike gets it. I think Jay Larson, who's sitting in the audience here, gets it, and we're going to bring him on. We have Antoine. How do you say his name?
Anwar.
Anwar.
Mm-hmm.
I said that earlier. We have Anwar here who gets it. We're going to bring him up in a second also. So we have a couple more guests, and we'll do the baseball card game. We'll be right back after these messages. And we are back. I am Stephen Brody Stevens here in Phoenix, Arizona. You're listening to the Festival of Sports. And sports, real quick, a lot of people don't realize how much baseball, sports, and I would say baseball specifically, have a lot to do with stand-up comedy. Going all the way, I talk about the Comedy Store because I play baseball. It's in my blood, and I take that baseball energy and I put it into my stand-up. You have Adam Egget, who is the talent booker and Norm Macdonald's sidekick on that Netflix show. He went to baseball camp. I taught him how to play baseball. Steve's a sports guy. I think that, it's all positive. It really is like sports. It's like it's positive. It's positive energy. You guys take that? Take that ball and run with it. Positive energy.
I love baseball. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, so that's all we knew in baseball. I grew up. There's my man right there. Reds. That's yeah. There we go. Ohio players. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I mean, back in the Midwest, I mean, I felt like I was raised at Synergy Field, Riverfront, all that. Barry Larkin means a lot to me. But the translation between that and life too, I think in baseball, baseball to me is the biggest translation to life, because it's like opportunities. When you get that hanging curve, that's an opportunity.
Right.
And a lot of comics don't understand when that opportunity is in front of them. That means do your tight five. Because that guy's there, right? Yeah. The hanging curve is Adam Egan in the back of the original room.
Ooh, I like that.
You know what I mean? So don't mess that up. Level the bat. Take it to the right. So I'm weird with those analogies too, but I'm an energy guy too. I love baseball.
So he's an energy guy. Eric, real quick, your energy?
I have a problem with the curve.
You have a problem with the curve?
Obviously, yeah. If Adam's the curveball, I have a problem with the curve.
Why do you have why does Adam come into the equation?
Now he's bringing up a Clint Eastwood movie. Is that what's going on?
I have trouble with the curve.
Movie.
So you
it was a Clint Eastwood movie, Brody.
So Adam the Booker. You're saying you're having trouble with Adam. I get it. I get it. And Steve, you're a big Eagles fan. You're from Philadelphia.
Yep. I think everything's attitude. It's the positive energy, a positive attitude that shapes everything.
Good call.
It's just energy. It's just science. Now, there's another guy who plays baseball. He's in the audience right now. And if you hear me talk, you could tell, like, oh, Brody seems a little strained, a little uncomfortable at times. Well, about 10 weeks ago, I was out at a park, and I was swinging the bat. And one of the Sklar brothers was pitching the ball. And I was trying to look good swinging the bat. And I'd been in shape with weights, but maybe not stretching like I should. So the Sklar brother, he threw me a pitch. I tried to swing it and hit the ball, because there's a guy who was hitting the ball before me who was hitting home runs. And it was impressive. And I was in the outfield. I'm watching these balls go over the fence, and this crowd is loving the guy. I go, something must be off. I want to see if I can do it. I'm Stephen Brody Stevens. Give me a Sklar brother. Get a Sklar brother loose. Let me see if this is real. And I swung a couple grounders, and then I swung another one and went right in my side, my oblique. And I was thinking, this is a tough deal. And I barely hit the ball to the infield. But there was a guy who hit like 8 balls out. And he made it look easy. And that guy does comedy. And that guy knows baseball. And he's another person who can speak to how baseball is interjected into his life and into his stand-up and into his podcasting. And that man is here right now. And I just got back from performing in Boston and New Hampshire with David Spade. This guy is from the Boston area. The Red Sox are playing the Dodgers right now in the World Series. This guy is from Boston area. I'm from the Los Angeles area. It's a natural rivalry. He hit these balls, and I'll tell you what, it was like watching it was a home run derby for All Things Comedy, and it was like watching a home run derbies. Guy got the flow, and it was newfound respect that day. Newfound respect in my book, and that's hard to do. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Give it up for Jay Larson. Jay Larson is here.
Hey, everybody. Good to be here with you, Brody. Thanks for having me.
Steve Simone, there he goes. He's off to charity work, feeding the homeless in downtown Phoenix. He's a good guy. Jay Larson did the home run hitting contest with Ryan Sickler, and that was 10 weeks ago.
I prepped for it, though, Brody. You know what I mean? You just got up there randomly and swung, so don't beat yourself up over it, because, it's tough.
But I was throwing.
I trained.
The thing was, I was throwing the ball well. I felt so good pitching the ball in the outfield, throwing around. I go, I could swing this bat, and then I swung the bat, and yeah, I tweaked my oblique. And I was thinking, this guy, you did a great job.
Thank you, Brody. 322, 322 feet with a wooden bat, you guys. That's with a wooden bat. We should have done aluminum. Don't you think if with the aluminum I could have got that 355? What do you think?
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not, but it started off a little. That first round between you and Ryan was a little slow.
You know, I used the 32 in that first round, and then I moved up to a 33-inch bat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like
I knew. I
urban
was
legend.
like, I got a new bat. I'm like, I'm going to try this bat. And then I was like, no, just go back to the other bat and went with the 33.
And is that where the second round is where you took off?
Second round's where I got loose. Third round is where I kind of took off.
Because you went on a roll there. You hit like 5 out in a row, something like you really got into that
rhythm.
That's the kind of stuff that you would see.
It's positive
on those home run
energy.
hitting
That's all it was.
contests.
It was seeping in, and I just stuck in that flow, and it became a part of what I was doing.
I want to say thank
it.
you, sir, for hanging out. Appreciate it. You're good energy, positive push.
It's Ohio energy.
So go ahead, Jay.
I just want to know why none of us even said anything to that guy. Like, who was that guy? Does anyone know who that guy was? Is he a legend in Phoenix or something? Do you see that guy? He was a mix of a lot of Downtown Dave. Is that real?
You look like Michael Irvin.
Probably.
His girls are probably working this.
I mean, that dude was legit.
Oh,
No, he said that. You made that.
But he stuck
That's
around. the
Tampa
whole
humor. That's Tampa humor.
He stuck around for a long time, and you guys, I could tell like you guys are fans. Most of you, maybe some of you. That guy, you could tell, was just like kind of walking around, and he liked it. That's kind of what he enjoyed our real talk.
Yeah, I think he grew from this.
Because that's a real guy right there. I think I saw him that new Cedric the Entertainer show. So you hit the home run, and
I don't think people remember. Baseball originally was America's pastime. We say that,
Yeah.
but what it was an activity that Americans would go and watch. That's what you would do. It was like going to a park and like, oh, this is how you pass time. So my mom was very big into baseball. I was very big into it. My whole life.
Yeah.
I'm a Red Sox fan. They're in the World Series. I don't know the score right now. It's Game 3.
right.
You know what I mean? We're probably going to sweep.
Is it on right now?
It's on right now. It's happening as we
And
speak.
you said that they're probably going to sweep.
They're
right?
probably going to sweep. We have a great core of young talent mixed with a lot of veterans, and that were paid handsomely.
Boston, see, they're fans. I feel like the Boston sports fans are really good for the most part. They're good. They're
the
they're
best.
demanding. Would you say they're demanding? But they're
I-
into it.
They're very much into it. I don't know if they're demanding. Put it this way. This is the way I say it. If Dustin Pedroia's grandmother had like a hernia and like got put in the hospital, when he would get up to bat that day, the place would give a standing ovation because everybody would know what was going on. And it wouldn't even be publicized. It would be like some woman worked in the hospital, found out, told her friends, they told everybody else, and the whole place would be like, "Come on, Dustin!" Like they know what he's going through.
You got a finger on the pulse.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they know.
Good.
But you just look at the Red Sox. They're known as a good team, good organization, historic, and then you look at
Title Town. You know?
look at all the comedy that comes out of Boston. It's like all the writers. There's just something about comedy in baseball. If you went into a bookstore, the old Barnes and Nobles, baseball had the biggest section. So I just feel like baseball, comedy, and then you can throw in, if you want to not be political, but say baseball represents American values, wholesome values. I feel that's just a good outlet for me. It keeps me. You stay into baseball talk. It keeps you out of getting into trouble, kind of. But I feel like baseball represents a lot about life. Dealing with adversity and adjustments and variables.
Yeah, well, how you take your approach to hitting at the plate is maybe how you take your approach to hitting in life, Early in the count, you go for a home run. Late in the count, you protect the plate, maybe slap one the other way, get that base hit. Singles, knock a run in, sacrifice yourself.
Bunt.
But it's the one game.
Bunt. That's a great point.
Bunting. It's the one game that they say there's baseball gods. There's it's like they say like if you make they stick you in right field and you don't want to you're not a good right fielder, chances are the ball finds you.
Yeah.
Or you make a great play in the field, chances are you're leading off the next inning. There's just little things in baseball with numbers and energies and that say, Field of Dreams, the movie with if you build it, they will come. When I did my Comedy Central show, I did a scene at Fenway Park based off that. So I just feel like there's ghosts, there's energies.
Well, you look at teams that shouldn't be in the playoffs over the past 10, 15 years. You look at those Rockies teams and those A's teams that just took off at the end of that was just energy. I can't name more than 2 people. I can only think of Matt Holliday on the Rockies. Other than that, those teams were a bunch of no names. Scott Hatterberg. You telling me he was a guy that had?
You
know,
better
they
watch
won like
your mouth,
20
goddammit. Scott Hatterberg
Yeah, he was a
started
Red,
out in the
too.
Red Sox organization. Let me tell you about a Boston fan. I root for guys. I still root for Travis Shaw. Why? Because he played for the Red Sox.
Oh yeah.
Josh Reddick. Why? Because he played for the Red Sox. We're Titletown, guys. Since 2001, we've won 5 Super Bowls, 3 World Series titles, an NBA championship, an NHL championship, and an MLS Cup. And if you want to get into it, we're going to win another World Series this year.
You don't. No. Too soon, Jay. Please don't do that. The game is in the balance right now.
It is in the balance, Brody, and I know where you're pulling. I will say this. I went to a Lakers game last night. If you've never been to a Lakers, it was my first Lakers game. You've obviously been to a
I've been to a
Lakers
few,
game.
yeah.
It's the 5th game of the season, and it felt like Game 7 of the NBA championship. I couldn't get over the energy in there, Brody.
Wait, they were
I
into
couldn't.
it?
Oh my God, were
The
they
Laker
into it.
fans were into it?
Insane. And I've been to Clippers games when they're like at the end of the year getting ready for the playoffs and they had a great team. Not even close, dude. It was insane last night. They introduced Kobe. Kobe was sitting there. They showed Kobe Bryant. Place went nuts. I was like, what is this energy?
So that's good to hear. That
It felt really good.
because they've not been doing well. The Lakers, they've got off
Not
to a-
playing well at all, and it's the 5th game of the season, but they beat. LeBron had a triple-double. I mean, I was impressed with Josh Hart. I mean, I look at every facet of the game, Brody. People ask, are you technical? I say yes.
Well, they missed the free throws the other night, right?
LeBron hasn't been good from the stripe.
Do you think? Do you think this LeBron James in LA experiment? It's not an experiment. But do you think it's going to work out?
I think that you can never doubt the greatest of anything. So you just why would you not want the greatest at any point? You know what I mean?
The Lakers would always get like that big star. They got Shaq. They got Wilt Chamberlain. They got Kareem.
They didn't get Bird, but whatever. You know what I mean?
They got Magic. You know,
They did have Magic.
I think that, but LeBron, he's just doing everything. He's movie producing. He's this. He's that.
He owns Blaze Pizza. If you had it,
Come on.
He's got now 4th and 5th grade, right?
Is that
That
he's got a
school's
middle
unbelievable.
school.
Do you know about that
Yeah.
school? Do you know about the school he opened? Do you know that?
Incredible.
Paid for. You get breakfast and lunch. You get food to take home. You get a bicycle, and then they help your parents find jobs. You can't hate on LeBron James. How can you hate on LeBron
and he got
James?
a triple-double last night.
You threw up a triple
top of all
double, bro,
that.
and then threw a large
Triple-double.
cheese at you on
Yeah,
the way out
he's
from
like,
Blaze
yeah, here you
Pizza,
go.
proud sponsor of this podcast.
I like Blaze Pizza. I like the do-it-yourself pizza.
I wonder if any of the Chargers players go to the Lakers games and wonder if they could ever have that at the StubHub Center, that atmosphere.
Oh no way! Oh, I mean, it should. Isn't it like 30,000?
It's only
seats?
30,000. It
Yeah,
should be.
it'd be
It should be a
amazing.
college
They don't even get
energy.
close to
Yeah.
selling it out.
Yeah.
That's garbage.
I'm just saying, LA wants a winner. We'll see what happens. The LeBron stuff, it seems, I don't know. I just real quick, the first game they had the fighting. They had LeBron talking about giving his kids wine. There's a lot of stuff with LeBron. We'll see what happens. Was what I'm saying. I think the fighting. I don't know if LA we'll see. We'll see. It's about winning. I don't know about all the extracurricular stuff.
Yeah, well, it's a weird mix. Maybe they'll get together.
I mean, what did Kareem own? Did he own like a frozen yogurt stand or
He
something?
owned the most points ever in the NBA.
There you go. Let's do. We have one more guest.
Yeah, do your thing. Thank you for having me.
Jay Larson, everybody.
Everybody, go Sox.
Yes.
Are you going to do the baseball?
Oh, I got to
card
wrap
game?
this thing up. Let's bring up Anwar.
Yep.
Okay, you want to go ahead and give the intro for him? Mike Turner, right here.
This is my writing partner. We do a bunch of shows here in Phoenix. We do This Week's X Tonight, literally the worst show ever. And he's also just won Best Phoenix Comedy or something in the Phoenix New Times. He's a funny dude. Anwar Newton.
Anwar Newton, because we have Fahim Anwar.
Yep.
I'm not always great with name, but I know it's Anwar. This guy's funny. The show they do is funny. Would do great in LA, but I don't even think you need to come to LA. But you could. It is a different kind of. I guess LA draws a different kind of crowd.
Yeah.
I think it would work in LA though.
That's what everybody
it's
says.
really entertaining.
It was smart,
Appreciate
and
that.
it wasn't.
You guys are perfectly
It
bad.
wasn't.
Yeah, we got good energy.
We got
Stockton
a
Malone.
good energy. Yeah.
Stockton Malone.
You would
Yeah,
be
I
the
like it.
Yeah, you're
I'm
the white
Malone.
one. You're the white one.
I'm Malone.
Wow.
But I rebound more.
You're Malone.
I'm more rebounding.
Okay.
So, as comedians here in Phoenix, is it hard to develop here? Is it becoming easier? Are there more?
This is like the perfect place to start comedy because where are you? You're in between L.A. and Vegas without the eyes on you
Right.
So you get to bomb over and over and over again until you figure out who the hell you are, and then you're just hop, skipping, and jumping away from L.A., Vegas.
if you have to go there.
Yeah, and you really don't these days. So
See, I went to school out here, but I was playing baseball. But they didn't have any comedy clubs. They had the Tempe Improv, and that's about it. They didn't have what they have now. So if you're a comedian today, let's say you're a, middle of the road comedian, could you get up pretty much in front of a crowd, minimalish crowd at least, couple every night?
You can get up every night. I would say it's going to be hit or miss on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday sometimes, but there's decent booked shows almost every time. We run 3 shows that between it's Genuine on Tuesdays, and then we got this week's Extra Night, and then another one. So we always are trying to put the locals on as much as possible, and there's good weeklies too. It's building in a way. We're maturing. I say.
think it's right now. It's like the local level scene is definitely at its best because you got Brian Ritchie, who's been doing it out here 20 years. And,
right. Ty Rivera lives here
Ty
now.
Rivera's
Who's an
here.
old LA he's great.
Brian Ritchie's is running like 2 different rooms that are 2 of the best rooms to go up on a regular basis and work on your stuff. I don't know. It's a lot of opportunity here.
So you can work on your stuff, and
You get
then
8 minutes, 10 minutes.
What about like weekend headlining spots? Can you work the clubs all around, like bounce around?
Well, you got Stand Up Live, you got Tempe Improv, shout out to them, All Things Comedy. And then you got House of Comedy up north that's booking people. Then a good friend of ours, Tom Sims, who's been doing comedy. He's
In the
got
West
Stir
Side.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's
I
got
think
Stir
I'm going to
Crazy.
do it in March.
You should.
And
You'd
Tom is
smash
such a
out there.
great dude, and it's such a nice little tight
Great room.
Oh, it's great.
So I'll like it.
Yeah,
They'll like me.
They'll love you.
Even me being off my meds.
Will you need a ride?
I might need a ride. And how about the crowds? Are they pretty with it these days? I mean, they seem like they are. Like I had a good set. I had a thing with one guy.
Downtown, we've created that crowd though too, so we can pat ourselves on the back. Like a lot of it is.
Right.
That's our crowd
Yeah,
down
you
there.
could tell they all knew you. Like they were interacting with you.
Yeah, last night at the top of the show, I was like, how many people have seen the show before? I think 100 people put their hands up.
Yeah, you had a big. A lot of
Anwar's
people.
more Phoenix. He started in Phoenix, and I started in the East Valley, which is like
And we
Scottsdale,
joined
Tempe.
forces.
And then now we got the whole valley. All we need is Glendale.
Now,
We need Glendale.
it would seem like there's a lot of corporate work around here too. If
Yeah,
you were like
yeah.
a motivational speaker,
Absolutely.
or you wanted to give pep talks to the car dealership.
Yep.
I mean, look, you've got the gig. You were doing this stuff with the local sports.
NBC.
You
Yeah,
know,
so
that's
there's
pretty cool.
opportunity. It's a big market, to your point. It's the 5th biggest market, 6th biggest market in the country. So it's like there's things you can do if we
Right.
do it right. And I think we've been able to do a lot of independent stuff to create. We try to show the scene that like you don't just have to do, first of all, a stand-up show. It can have a different flair to it. But on top of that, whatever you're doing, do it professionally. We do it. It's
give
a
a
very
shit.
professional. Yeah, give
Yeah,
a shit.
give
Yeah,
a shit.
It is
And,
professional.
So
It is professional. I'll tell you what we're gonna do because we got to wrap it up here pretty soon. I think this. I think it's been a good live podcast.
Yeah. I've been laughing in the back, so if you hear this, you heard the loud black man laugh. That was me the whole fucking hour. So
it's a good credit.
yeah, that's a good credit.
You know,
Put that
I'm
out.
like rewiring my brain is what I'm doing. I'm rewiring it and figuring it out. And I think a lot of doing these shows, I think it's just preparation,
Exactly.
but also just just doing it. You just gotta, you can ruminate and think, and you just gotta jump in and do it and keep doing it, and keep doing the baseball card game. We have a lot of people. By the way, let's give it up for our sound engineer today, one of our producers. We have Aaron over here. Give it up for Aaron. He helped set us up. Is Emma over? There's Emma over here. Aaron was going to play the baseball card game. We have a bunch of. Do we have an extra mic up here?
Yeah, we have an extra chair, but
I don't know if we have an extra mic.
There's one over there, right there.
Oh, this one right here. Yep.
We could do right now a multi-layered baseball card game.
does this work?
Now,
that
Anwar, you're not a baseball card guy.
No,
You're not a baseball guy.
The last name I gave a shit about was Cal Ripken Jr.
Okay. I think all 3 of these guys could play the baseball card game. So we're going to play that right now. I'm going to pull out a card. These look like all from the 90s. It's 100 baseball cards. It's 1 pack. I'm going to say, looking at these, Most of them look like they're from the 90s. I'm going to go ahead and pick out a baseball card, and we're going to see who can play the game.
What is the game? What are the rules?
The rules are figure out.
Do you want me to explain why you pick a card, Brody?
Ooh, you're coming in so hot.
I know, it's really loud.
Go ahead, Eric.
Okay, so Brody will pick a card from the deck. We have to try and we all get one guess at what it is, at what player it is, and after that we get guesses as like you can ask if he's a first baseman, if he's
Oh, so anybody can
right-handed.
play this?
Yeah, we're all gonna play it. And
I'm
then,
excited.
I'm scared.
And so you take the guesses until you can narrow it down to the player you know.
Who is Ryan Sandberg?
That's a great guess.
John
know.
Rocker.
Ooh.
See, I'm glad Oligny has a mic in his hand so he can't Google.
Oh yeah. Nice.
He seems
By
like
the
a
way,
guy
I
that
have
might
an
cut
asterisk.
corners.
I have an asterisk by my name in baseball card game. I've cheated a couple times.
Now I'm looking through the cards right now, and we are.
By the way, go to YouTube and look up Valley Vibes. Watch Stephen Brody Stevens Valley Vibes.
Who is Knobloch?
That's a good guess. Thank you.
This isn't Jeopardy, though.
Sam Malone.
Now these cards are fairly random, to be honest with you.
As far as era, or
I wouldn't imagine you getting a good
I
players.
have. Okay, hold on. Stay with me. This is the baseball card game with Stephen Brody Stevens, Festival of Friendship. Give me 1 second. Give me one.
Go watch
second.
Brody's special in the main room at the Comedy Store.
oh yeah, where's that on? Where can we find
Amazon.
Amazon
that?
and
Amazon
iTunes.
Prime, iTunes.
That's my
beautiful.
commercial right there.
That's exciting.
Okay, I almost
I've seen
had
him in
one.
the the Comedy Store. It's
You just
beautiful.
added a little spice to that commercial. I like that.
Yeah, a little paprika on
Yeah,
there.
I liked it.
I got a special on YouTube.
Okay, I'm almost there. I almost got one.
It's a 5-minute set I did in a bar, but it was special to me. Damn.
Your family thought it was special. I remember.
My mother liked it.
It's
I
got
love
2
that.
views.
She created
It's
several.
got 2
accounts.
views. It's both his mother.
Both my mom. It's a special night.
Okay. Look, they have a whole card in here from 2015.
Now,
What
what
are the
team
rest,
is
like,
the
half
Terps?
cards?
Your whole card.
It's all about picking the
The,
card.
Maryland.
We just about have the card.
Some magic trick.
You're trying to really dial it in right now.
I know. Okay, I have a card. I have a card. Because I know what these guys have said before. There's certain, you can't just pick anything. I have a card in my hand, and we are ready to go. Aaron, would you like to guess?
Steve Avery.
That's actually a good guess,
Oh.
but I will not accept it. That is a good guess.
Okay.
Mike Turner.
Al Leiter.
Another good guess. Not the right answer. And we'll go to Eric Oligny.
Steve Bedrosian.
Wow.
Not correct.
Not a good guess either, guys.
Those two first guesses were more they were closer to it. Aaron?
We're not playing?
Oh hell no!
Well, he's
Okay.
not. He doesn't.
Alright.
He only knows
Okay,
Baltimore
cool.
Orioles from
I'm gonna say Cal
1998.
Ripken
And watch
Jr. and then I'm
81.
gonna say Cal Ripken Sr. and then I'm out.
So go ahead. This is how. Now we've gone. They threw it out there. Now they
Okay.
have options to ask questions.
Yes. So he's definitely a left-handed pitcher.
Are you asking or are you saying?
There was a question mark at the end of that. Is it a left-handed pitcher?
Yes.
Yes.
Now see how Aaron played that? You see how Aaron played that? Because Aaron guessed and Michael guessed. They both guessed left-handed pitchers. And I said, that's a good guess. That's a good guess. Aaron picked up on it. So he knows that it was a left-handed pitcher. That's how you play the baseball card game. Yes, it's a left-handed pitcher.
Is it Kent Merker?
Wow.
It is not Kent Merker.
Good guess.
So now I get the opportunity to ask a question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Majority of career in the bullpen?
I'm going to say no.
Starter. Deductive reasoning.
Brody, you're smiling ear to ear right now. He's so happy with this.
I'm gonna throw out Mike Hampton.
Another good guess. but I will not accept that. Eric, now you've heard a lot of stuff. This is the baseball card game.
Is he a tall pitcher, like 6'6"?
That's too specific.
No,
Okay.
he's
well,
not one of those tall guys.
Okay.
And you know what? That's something that I've not really encountered much on the baseball card game. When they ask, is he a tall guy? No, he is not a tall guy.
Tom Glavine.
Ooh.
Not Tom Glavine. Back to Aaron.
I'm just going to go ahead and guess. If he's not a tall guy, is it Billy Wagner?
Not Billy Wagner.
Bullpen.
Oh,
He's
you're right.
starter.
He's
More of a
See,
starter.
he doesn't
Damn it,
listen.
damn it.
He doesn't
I
listen.
didn't listen on that.
You're
Sorry,
you're
Aaron.
bringing a negative energy.
never
I'm
played-
feeling
Yeah,
it.
I'm just saying.
You're bringing
I
a
asked
negative
that
energy.
question
I'm gonna
for
call
a
it out,
reason. I
Brody.
tried. It's a team effort.
You've come at Eric
I tried
and you
to
come at
help.
my friend here, so
Alright.
dial it back, buddy.
I
Was
have to
the
catch the shuttle in 20 minutes.
would you say the majority of his career was in the National League?
I'm going to say no.
AL guy.
I would say not fully, but yes, he had AL years. There were AL years with this guy. So-
Majority AL.
Well, I'll tell you what, the card I'm holding, he's not in the AL at the time.
Interesting. Because I was gonna
Man, give your damn question.
I was
And I'll tell you what, it's not
Is it Andy Pettit?
It's not Andy Pettit. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's not obscure. And it might, and I don't want you to be confused by it. There could be some. I don't want you to be misled by this guy, meaning that I just don't want you to be misled. Go ahead, Eric.
What is his ethnicity?
Ooh,
Great question.
Great question.
Great question. He is Aryan. He's white.
Okay.
He's white, Caucasian. So we're looking for a white, short,
Starter.
non-tall, white, left-handed starter who's played in both leagues. But the card that I have
an American
has
league.
him in the National.
No, he's in.
Oh, national.
Yeah.
Tim Lincecum.
He's right-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, my bad.
Yeah, and
It's tough
there
to
you go.
believe.
Now all I think of is Starbucks drive-thru.
Does he have any prominent facial hair?
You know what? At one point, he had facial hair, and then he didn't have facial hair. So one time he did have, I'm going to say he did have a mustache. At one time. And it's not. This is not an obscure guy, but I also don't want you to. You may not. You'll know who it is.
Frank Baum, the guy who wrote Wizard of Oz.
That's Eddie Pepitone in the back. He's a big Yankee fan. It's not Frank Baum, who wrote Wizard of Oz.
It's a good guess. I liked it.
I feel like he's come up a million times. Is it Brett Saberhagen? Was he left-handed?
I'll tell you this. He's played on a team possibly with Brett Saberhagen, but an organization with Brett Saberhagen. When you think of Brett Saberhagen, there's a good chance that maybe you think of this guy.
Did he ever get a massive payday?
I wouldn't say massive, but he pitched for a number of years. But I don't want you to be fooled.
I know.
Catch that
I'm
shuttle
trying to
here in a
think.
second.
Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm blanking on lefties.
John Steinbeck. The author of Grapes of Wrath.
Grapes of Wrath.
Grapes of Wrath.
And Cannery Row. Great book as well.
I got nothing.
It's not Steinbeck. Not Terry Steinbeck.
You don't. Just take a
I
stab.
was going to say Barry Zito is what I was going to say, but it's
Eddie
not Barry Zito.
Pepitone should get up here and just take my seat because I'm not going
Is
to
it
offer
Barry
shit to
Zito,
this
bro?
It's
one.
not Barry
It's
Zito.
not Barry Zito.
Did he play for the Cubs?
This guy did not play for the Cubs.
Fuck. No, I'm out of left-handers.
Okay.
Can we take an audience
All
poll?
right, hold on.
we gotta.
Here you do. No, we're speeding this up for time purposes. What if you are smoking? What is that called?
If you're smoking,
Bad for your health.
Is a
fire.
Vice.
Vape.
like a
Cigarette.
Toke.
Sig.
Stoke.
no.
Heater.
Okay, let's think about this. What you have a pal, a friend,
Is it BJ Penn?
not BJ Penn.
An amigo.
Right, okay. What would you say that? A pal.
Friend.
Buddy. There you go.
Buddy.
Buddy.
Is
Buddy
it-
Bell's
is
the only name
is
I
it
can
Bud
think of.
Black?
Bingo. That's how
Bud
you
Black.
play.
Oh, Bud Black.
And Brody's going to catch that
I always
shuttle
forget
now.
he was a ball player.
It's Bud Black.
One of the greats.
Manager.
One of the greats.
That's why now.
Yeah, manager
He's
wise.
a manager right now for the Colorado Rockies. I didn't want you to because you may know that, so you may not have known that he was. You may not have been right on your immediate radar that he was a pitcher.
Would you say he's a better manager than he has been when he was a player?
He's probably the greatest
Yeah.
manager in the
He's
game
great,
right now.
yeah.
He's
I would
turned
say.
into a successful manager, but he was a pretty good baseball player too. He gave up Reggie Jackson's 500th home run.
I don't know if that's a good baseball player.
He's made the most with the least in baseball over the last 15 years.
I mean, his
Oh, yeah.
stats.
And it sucks to play in Colorado.
13 and 11, 12. He had a decent. He wasn't a bad pitcher. He was a good pitcher.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. He wasn't a clunker of a pitcher.
Wasn't he the Padres guy manager?
He managed the Padres.
when they went to the
he
World Series?
managed. Yeah.
No, that was
We're
Bruce
talking about
Bochy.
Steinbeck, right?
Oh, that was Bochy. Yeah, you're right.
But here it
He was
is.
there in 06
Bud
when they
Black.
went to playoffs.
Yeah, Bochy, I guess, is probably the better manager.
I got to catch the shuttle. I want to say thank you very much to everybody who was here today, and it was a good time. Eddie Pepitone, he's going to be coming on, doing his show very soon.
Nope,
He's
already
not.
done.
We're doing the. Are you taking the shuttle over to? I got to go with you. Okay. So tell them to hold that shuttle bus. And
It's all right, Eric will drive.
guys, this was great. This was All Things Comedy. This was a festival of sports. We had a good time. I appreciate it. To all the fans, everyone sticking around here. Looks like we have some Antifa in the crowd. All right, folks. We'll see you later. We're off to Tempe to do the improv. This is Stephen Brody Stevens, All Things Comedy Festival of Sports. You guys were great. Enjoy it.
Thank you.